Here he is. How's it going, man? And good games for your previous.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
So I've heard from multiple different sources, multiple different things. As far as pronouncing your name, Egum or EGM?
It's EGM.
Okay. So that pretty much seals the deal for me. I've actually been doing it wrong because like two co-casters were like berating me about it. But okay, EGM makes the most sense. That's how it's going to be from now on. But no Tidehunter showing a lot of strength in that last match. I mean, it wasn't the most serious of things, especially at the end there. But how do you feel coming out of those games?
Uh, was like, yeah, pretty easy games for us. No real strategy involved. Just killing them off easily.
So, is there anything to really take away from those kind of games? A lot of people say a stomp, like especially game two, there's not really much to learn. What about game one? Is there anything that you could have done differently and improved?
Not really. We just felt like both games were the same. Just got early advantage on killing the lanes. Then just proceeded to take map control.
Sure.
Push the towers.
A lot of interesting picks in that second one. Do you have any insight in the Mirana and the Ogre Magi? Obviously, a lot of hardcore disables in that tri-lane specifically, but do you think they're competitive heroes?
Not sure yet. We just wanted to try it out. Have two stunners in the woods and have a long range stun to support them. Worked out okay.
Cool. So, do you see them something that you guys are actually going to run in, or just experimentally still going to stay in that stage for some time?
Yeah, we're just experimenting with that right now. Not sure if we're gonna use it in an important game.
You picked up the Ogre in, I believe, like Star Ladder. Was that, like, I mean, that's obviously a high-stakes environment. It doesn't seem like something you'd be experimenting with. Did you have confidence with the Treant Leshrac Ogre Magi?
Yeah, we've been practicing with that lineup for a bit. We were sure we were gonna win with it, but we messed up with the timing a bit during Star Ladder. So we ended up losing that game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you can't win them all, but that was one where you guys tried something different. It just didn't pan out for a couple of different reasons there. But all in all, you guys took first place in Star Ladder. Obviously, this is still going to be more oriented towards your future stuff for Premier League. But real quick, how did it feel to win that? And did you guys have any special celebrations after the fact?
Yeah, it felt great winning it. And as for celebration, we didn't have much time because our flight was leaving really early when we were done playing. So yeah, basically just finished the game and almost had to leave instantly.
Oh, well, that's not as much fun, but it's still. I mean, obviously, did you guys flew on out there? Or?
Yeah, we flew out.
Okay, so probably some celebrations on the plane and all that, just kind of enjoyment after your win there. I mean, that's you guys have been working for that for quite some time. Star Ladder is another one of those events that goes for quite some time, so it's got to feel good to actually get the payoff there.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is TPL and the current standings. So you guys moving up the rankings here with this win. Do you feel confident about your chances with like 3 games over the next handful of days? Your chances of getting on into that one of those top 4 slots?
Yeah, it should be fine getting it through top 4 slots.
Now, you guys are going to be coming up with a game versus Kaipi Gaming relatively soon. That's obviously the team with Eternal Envy, who was the individual that you replaced. There was some drama about that back then, but how do you feel their team is faring, and do you think they have a shot at taking you down?
We haven't played against their team yet, I think, at all. I've seen them play a bit, but yeah, they look pretty stable and can probably take a game off us. But yeah, I think we're gonna win.
Okay, so that's your prediction for that there. We'll have to wait and see. But as far as other things, a lot of different questions in the chat, jumping around on topics. But the Eastern scene, you guys are looking at G1 qualifiers and stuff like that. How do you feel that No Tidehunter, now that you guys are kind of definitely considered top tier and considered one of the best Western teams, how do you feel if No Tidehunter had to face like IG or something like that on LAN, just like today or tomorrow?
Today or tomorrow, I think will be real tough games for us. Could see us take them down like a bit further up the road, but right now I think we need a lot more practice and to be able to beat them in a real tournament. But yeah, we could probably take a game or 2 of them, but I don't think we could like win a tournament with Chinese teams.
So, as an individual player, you were kind of away from the scene for a little while, and then you were at what would be considered a B team or a tier 2 team, and then you jumped straight into like this high profile environment where No Tidehunter just has these opportunities to move on forward. What was that like? That transition, jumping on into the spotlight like that?
It was fine for me. Like, was nothing new. Just higher tier of playing. Learned a lot more things, improved my game, but like it was just the same team you play against, and everything was pretty much the same.
Okay. So as far as current meta tactics, I mean, you're kind of trying to stay ahead on trends and things along those lines. I already talked about the Ogre Magi and the Mirana. What other heroes would you like to see in a more competitive environment?
I would like to see Razor in competitive matches. I don't think he gets picked a lot right now, but he's kind of like not that strong, but I still like him as a hero. He's one of my favorites, a Pubwit. I hope he'll make it into the competitive scene soon. But
do you think he could just be like a niche counter pick or something, or?
Yeah, this could be like a counter to strength heroes, but yeah.
Interesting. What about other heroes that haven't really been dropped into SCM, such as Bristleback, Slark, Tuskar, stuff like that? Would any of those be something that you could see at least experimenting with?
Yeah, Tuskar is extremely strong. Like, his spells are insane. That he's gonna get into the competitive scene easily. Bristleback, I'm not sure. Might be possible to get something done with him. But yeah, Tuskar for sure.
What role would you say Tuskar would be playing as far as like 1 through 5?
I would probably try him out as support first, because I think the Snowball is great for like ganking and stuff. But I can see him as a mid as well.
Do you think that would be kind of like a Spirit Breaker support kind of a thing, or kind of that same mindset but with a little bit of extra oomph? Or
yeah, maybe something like that.
Okay, just curious about that, as obviously things keep on changing and moving on forward. How do you feel about the state of the game right now as far as balance and the drafts dynamics?
Yeah, I feel the balance is great. Like, I don't feel that anything is too overpowered right now. Maybe Gyrocopter needs some changes, but the rest is fine. I think Snakes needs some rage nerf. I think the timer is too long. That's probably the only two things I would like to change right now.
Interesting. Yeah, little things, but they do add up, so that's definitely something to... I mean, if they wanted to change it up, but it's not really necessarily super hardcore broken. I mean, you guys work around it one way or another, and put on quite a show today specifically against that, so interesting. Are you guys confident going on into the G1 qualifiers that you can pass on through in one of the top 2 slots?
Yeah, we're extremely confident that we will be able to place top 2.
Cool. What about that sponsorship? Like, a lot of people thought you would, winning #1 in Starlighter, that would be coming out pretty soon. Is there a reason for the delay? I mean, I know you guys have a name picked out and stuff like that, but it just hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's been a bit delayed. We've been talking about it. It's probably gonna come out in about a week. We're not sure, but it should be up before our next LAN.
Okay. So, looking into future things, I was already mentioned as far as you guys thinking that you are likely to get on into that playoff bubble. What do you think about the teams that you'd be up against in that circumstance, like Team Liquid and all them?
What do you say?
For the other 3 teams that would qualify for the playoffs, who do you think is the strongest, and how do you think you'll fare against all of them?
Yeah, Team Liquid is pretty good. I'm not sure which team's gonna qualify past, but yeah, Team Liquid, Virtus Pro, all those teams are pretty strong. But I think it's 50-50 against most of them.
Sure. You guys took down Fnatic and Starlighter, but they are currently ranked 2 in TPL. If you see them again in that kind of a high-stakes environment, do you think that it's going to be just a rematch, or if it's going to be something completely different?
Right now, it's probably just going to be a rematch. Like, it's going to be extremely even. We have a hard time playing against Fnatic. But yeah, it's going to go either way.
Alright, so as far as communication in your games, when you and Ake roam around, are you going to be like telling him to take the lead, or you do it, or is it just based on skill compositions and orders there?
It's just, yeah, whoever talks like it. Yeah, it's just sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Ake. Just it just flows.
Sure. So it seems like you got that flow down pretty quickly. You were kind of playing in a more farm-oriented role and dropped down to carry. How was it like transitioning to kind of, make sure that Ake is always on the same page as you?
Excuse me, what did you say?
Like, it's just when you haven't played with people for so long, then you might have different ideas, and it's not as easy to communicate those ideas. Was it difficult to work with Ake on that gank-oriented play where you two go at it?
No, it's extremely easy to coordinate with Ake. He tells me what to do. Like when in the start, it was easy to get everything sorted. He's a great player to team up with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I mean, yeah, the Swedish language probably helps a little bit with that too.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah, kind of being able to just do native dialect, and that'll keep you guys the information flowing and be able to communicate more actively. So that's cool. How would you define your drafting style right now as far as your team goes?
Like mainly pushing style, I guess. Just mainly focusing on taking down towers and still having a good mid game. It's probably the best way to explain it.
Okay. So that kind of pressure out. Do you think that there's ways that people can kind of cripple you in the draft? Like a lot of people actually respectfully ban out Ake's Chen. Do you think not having that hero in your pool, or that, of course, of the Admiral Bulldog Lone Druid, are those kind of things very difficult for you guys to draft around, or you guys are just so used to it? It's like, okay, they either respect Ake or they respect Admiral Bulldog and take off like the Prophet and the Lone Druid. Is that something you guys have gotten used to, or is it still a little bit difficult to draft around?
Yeah, it was hard in the start when everyone started doing that, but I feel like we got through that and started drafting better. Like just focusing on other heroes. Because we know they're gonna ban Syllabear and Shen most of the games.
Mm-hmm.
It's working fine now.
So, a lot of people talk about your unorthodox carry pickup specifically. I mean, it's very, very concrete between what Ake likes to play, what you like to play, what Admiral Bulldog likes to play. But as far as Loda, he plays like this whole different tier of carries, like a very, very wide array, like some that don't even get picked up at all by other heroes. Like when you do the Wisp and the Riki, and also stuff like the Phantom Assassin and Alchemist. Obviously he just has that different mindset and that different playstyle, but why do you guys think you guys can be so flexible with your carry as opposed to something like your offlane?
Most carries are just it's just easier to pick a carry that's still just dealing a lot of damage, so it's not that big difference to pick a carry. When the other heroes have different roles like control and stuff, pushing and abilities like that. And yeah, Loda can play pretty much every carry in the game, so it's easy to work around. And if they ban something, we can always pick something else. It's great to have a big pool of carriers.
Okay. Well, although there are quite a few questions in chat, I'm trying to think of if there's any ones that we really haven't covered as far as topics. I mean, could go back to, you talked about different competitive, or currently non-competitive heroes, and if they get to CM. What about Drow Ranger in her current status?
I'm not sure I think she still needs some nerfs or changes. I'm not sure. That aura seems so powerful. I'm not quite sure if she's ready for competitive play yet.
Okay. Troll Warlord?
That ulti is... Yeah, I don't know. They have to change the ulti. It's like everyone gets a better version of Windrunner ulti for like no reduction and stuff. It's just... Yeah, it's too good. It's just, you can't have a global ulti that does that. It's way too good.
Fair enough. I mean, that's what a lot of people think is just the ultimate. Especially with the synergization, like you can get bash-oriented heroes or Slark or something. I don't even know, but a lot of potential with that kind of a combo and pushing aggressively and stuff like that could be very, very powerful, and we'll see how it gets balanced on out. But just looking forward into the future, your team as a whole, if you have like 2 weeks, let's say you're in a gaming house, 2 weeks to work on one thing for your team right now, one thing to improve, what would that thing be?
It will probably be our tri-lanes, aggressive tri-lanes. It's probably our weakest point in the team. But yeah, we're working on it. So yeah, hope we can fix it and make them stronger.
Okay. So that's definitely what you guys want to work on there. 3 versus 3. It's one of the more difficult things because it's so constant, intense, and also like it varies with each matchup. Like there's no way that one 3v3, like an aggressive one, is the same as a defensive one, and then the hero compositions change. Which you guys are probably the ones that draft the most dynamic of ones, with like one that would almost be considered not a carry, but just can capitalize on farm while you get tons of great stuns and stuff. So I think the way you draft it really works well. But as far as your mechanics and communication, that's always something that you guys can improve on. And of course, hopefully that's something that you guys can work out as far as kinks in the near future. But as far as how you would place yourself as compared to European teams. Obviously, there's plenty of others doing the rankings for you, but would you say that you guys are on top of Europe, or if there's a couple other teams that you would compare to be better?
I would just say like we're top 3 or something. I don't like want to rank myself.
Okay.
I feel like many teams can beat each other. Like just because we're winning right now doesn't mean we're like the best team in the world.
All right. Sure. I mean, that's there's, like you said, it's kind of not necessarily 50-50, but you guys, you can win a lot of games, you can lose a lot of games. It's really what you bring to the table there. And in general, I think you guys are really, really strong, but it's always difficult to get a hardcore placement. But also always good to look to improve, to say that you're not necessarily the best and you want to be that way. So good to look forward in that. There was one more question that I wanted to go with before you guys had. I cannot recall it. Wow, it just jumped off my screen, so I'm not too sure. But I'll just go with... Well, shoot. I really, really wanted to ask that question, but now I can't remember. Oh, yeah, the gaming house. The timing on that, they were talking about that as Four mentioned it, and then it was mentioned later on by Ake.
Yeah.
Really, how do you feel that'll impact your playstyle, and is that a long way off? Or, I mean, it should be at least before the international, right?
Yeah, it should be before the international. I think it's going to be great for the team. Like we will have a lot easier to practice then, so our schedule will be the same. So I think it will improve our gaming a lot. Just hope we can get it up as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. And if you get to the international, either through qualifiers or invites or whatever they end up doing, do you think you guys have a good chance of taking at least some prize money out of it, if not first?
Yeah, of course. I hope we can win it all, but yeah, realistic. I just hope we do good and do our best at least.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you want to cover? Any shout-outs you want to give before you go?
Shout out to my team and Blitzdora. That's all.
Sure enough, man. Sure enough. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations on your win versus Roxkiss, and good luck in your future matches, which will be coming up in just the next few days. So, again, this was EGM from No Tidehunter, and thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Bye.